All righty, we are now through the option period, which is fantastic news. That's, again, the option period sometimes is a scary time because the buyers aren't really tied to the property. They can, terminate the contract for any reason during that time. So it's kind of scary. So now, once we're through the option period, thank heavens, hallelujah, because that's where it kind of gets gritty, or can get. Now, what happens after the option period is done, then the buyer's loan, if it's a finance product, goes into underwriting. And that's when surveys are ordered if needed. The title company traditionally handles the ordering of the surveys if one is needed. We do not order the surveys. So we never know when the surveyors are coming. We don't have any control over that. Again, that's the title company's job. They order the survey from the surveying company that they use. That's whoever is responsible for payment of that survey. If the survey is required, that comes out of closing costs at closing. It's never paid for over the phone, or you're never going to have to whip out a credit card. And then the survey is ordered by the title company. The buyer's loan goes into underwriting if it's a finance purchase, and then during that time. Now, traditionally, when you're done with the option period, there is one other time that the buyer can terminate the contract and get a refund of their earnest money. And that is only, there's two actually. One is if the buyer cannot get financing. And there's a clause, it's called the third-party financing addendum. It was part of your contract. And traditionally, the number that we go by is 21 days. What does that mean? It means from the time the contract is executed, which there's an acceptance executed date on the contract. If you don't have a copy of your contract, please let me know. That means my office didn't get it to you or the title company. But the date is on that contract. That is the execution date. And so what happens there is that from 21 days from that date, that is when the third-party financing addendum ends. What does that mean? It means during those usually 21 days, if the buyer gets denied financing and is rejected for their loan, they'll get a letter of rejection. They must get a letter of rejection or denial from their bank. They can terminate the contract, and you will be required to give them their earnest money back. It will be painful. It will stink. We, on our end, are always getting status updates weekly from the lenders. Where are we at? Where are they at? How's the loan? Are they strong buyers? We're always reviewing that stuff. But things do happen. People lose their job. There's a death. Things do happen. So it's never a done deal until you get to the closing table, quite honestly. But they can terminate the contract during the initial 21 days, even after the option period, if they're denied financing. Now, outside of that, what is the other way in which they can terminate the contract? The appraisal. So once the loan goes into underwriting, the lender is in charge of ordering the appraisal on your home. We do not have any control over that. We don't know who's going to appraise your house. It goes into a pool. No one gets to pick this certain appraiser. Nobody. It doesn't work like that anymore. It used to years ago before the mortgage industry crashed. And so now when a house goes under contract, once the loan goes into underwriting, lenders assign an appraiser to it. It just goes into a pool. It's like auto generated. The appraiser will contact us and he'll let us know when he's planning on going to the house. We only usually sometimes get a 1-day notice, and it's usually a window. They might be like, hey, I'm going to go there Thursday between 9 and 12. Boom, that's it. Now, you as the homeowner do not have to leave during the appraisal. You have to leave during a home inspection, but you don't have to leave during the appraisal. They come in, they'll do their measurements, they'll take pictures of the home, they'll see the condition of the home. So you definitely don't want it looking like a pig pen in there. You don't want, clutter everywhere. You want it in showing condition. It should always be in showing condition. The name of the game is to get your home sold and get you the most amount of money. So we need your home to appraise for what we said the value was. So keep your home in tip-top shape. So the appraiser will come in. He's in there usually an hour about. You don't need to talk to him. You don't need to ask him any questions. Have a small talk if you want. Be kind, be nice. Don't be a butt, because if you act like that, then, they control a lot of the transaction. And so they'll leave your house. They'll turn in the appraisal report to the lender. And that's usually done within 2, sometimes 4 days after the appraisal. We on the selling side do not get a copy of that appraisal usually. It's not our rights. It's the buyer's property. However, if your house does not appraise for the contract price, then we go back into a negotiating position. The buyer's agent will come to me typically and be like, hey, we have a problem. You thought the house is worth this. The appraiser says the house is only worth this. What are we going to do? Because only two things can happen. Three, actually. Number one, this seller can reduce the price of the home, the contract price, to match the appraised value, because in the buyer's eyes, that's all the home is worth. The buyers, if we feel the appraiser is wrong and the buyers absolutely love the house, the buyers can offer the difference in cash. It would have to be paid at closing. So it'd be a bigger down payment. Or sometimes you can come to a mutual agreement and split it. Sellers come down some, buyers come in with cash some, so that's fair to both parties. So that's kind of what happens next. It's all a process. The whole home buying and selling is a process. But again, we're in no control over the appraisal. We want to do what we can on our parts to make sure that your house appraises for what we are hoping it appraises for, but you got to do everything on your part. That means being kind to your home, leaving your house in showing condition, making sure that smoke detectors work, hot water heaters are strapped in, everything is good, your house is in tip-top shape. And we'll get through this process, but know that I am here with you every step of the way, delivering messages, communicating what happens next. So if you have questions, make sure you reach out. Have a great day. Bye.